those puzzle pieces, started letting you see how many of each are necessary, because the whole point was to make a rectangle, like to not have jagged pieces sticking off. And I did sort my paper pieces, and I'm not trying to confuse you because the positives were not indented. They're out because they're giving their electrons to the negative ones. So it's just like the innie and the outie, if you will, is reversed. But this one, it's +3 and -3, and they already are perfect match. So the formula for aluminum phosphate literally is AlPO4. There's one of each. Now, when I was grading, and I did go over this, these polys, those O's are capital. They're not lowercase. If you write big P, little o, and a 4, you're telling me 4 poloniums, not a phosphate. And it carries a charge of -3. Keep in mind, you guys do have a quiz on Friday over group 1 and group 2 on that polyatomic ion chart. All right, so I should be able to get going. I'm not even trying to write on my board. I've got everything animated. This smartboard is like the bane of my existence. What is the difference between iron 2? They're both iron. Okay, iron is Fe. Between iron 2 and iron 3. What is the, first of all, is there anybody that needs me to go back over how to read Roman numerals? I know this is 2 and this is 3. Okay. What does this tell you for the irons? It's what? Well, what about its ion? They're different. So what does this Roman numeral 2, and you guys can't see me online, but this Roman numeral 3 and this Roman numeral 2, what does that mean for each specific type of iron? It's what? No. Metals are positively charged. So this iron is Fe +3, and I should have shown you guys how to make superscripts and subscripts with your canvas. It's that T with the button, with the superscript with the subscript, and then this one is Fe +3. I don't care if you do +3 or 3+. That does not bother me at all. So this one has a +2 charge. That's what the Roman numeral tells you. They're both positive. They're both irons. They're both Fe. But this guy has a +2 charge, and this guy has a +3 charge. I'm not even going to try to write on my board. I see smart ink, but I don't trust it. It's not even, what the heck? It's not even powered up. Oh, my thing came out of the, I knocked it loose. I don't know. Let's see. Says I can. But I can. So I don't know where I'm writing. I'm writing on a different screen. I don't know where it went. So how would you name, we have a PB +2 and a PB +4. Somebody told me peanut butter. No. Which element is PB? One of the weird ones. Towards the right, like right above your head.
Lead.
Lead. Okay, PB, plumb lead. So I can't just write lead and lead. So how do you write 2 in Roman? 2, like I. So you would do lead, open parentheses, capital I, close parentheses, ion. I still, even though I said you needed to write the word ion, I still had some of you that did not do that. You just tell me lead 2. I want to know that it is an ion. Okay, and then this one is lead, and then what's the Roman numeral for 4? IV in parentheses. Ion.
I'll just put lead in
Like,
ion.
no. Somebody asked, can you do this when you write it? You can. I don't. Don't put the top and the bottom line on it. Some teachers do, some don't. I personally don't do that. I really don't. You can't see, you all can't see online what I wrote on the board, and I can't write on my screen because my smartboard gives me problems. I did add just a little bit into the notes compared to what the other teachers, I use the same stuff, I just add some stuff onto it. So we're going to have 2 parts on writing ionics. Today, we're going to be focusing on binaries. Actually, I'm not sure if I go into ternaries. I can cheat and look for one I turn off. No, there are some polys. There are some polys on here. So first, find your metal. That's the first thing that's listed. The only exception to this is if it starts with the ammonium ion, which is a polyatomic. Which you guys have this chart. Well, I do have paper, but it's also, if you lost it, I don't have a bunch of them left. So if you lost it, it's in your canvas. If it is group 1 and 2A on the periodic table, if it is one of these 2 groups, you just write the thing's name. It's just sodium, or it's just potassium, or it's just magnesium. No Roman numerals. But if it's anywhere this way, with the exception of those 4 elements, you need a Roman numeral. Anything, just including these guys down here, these intertransition metals, but we normally don't put them as part of a question because they're so unstable, you just don't mess with them. So there are some exceptions. I put in blue what the part is to fill in, because I'm noticing if I change the color, you guys are a little bit more attention taken to it. But silver does not get a Roman numeral. Silver, cadmium, and zinc, they don't need them because they only have a specific charge. Aluminum, even though it's in group 3 and it's +3, I didn't ask you to write the +3 in the box. You can if you really want to. But every other metal that's over here, they have more than one type. Just that one, that one, that one, and that one. They're the only ones that do not need it. And when I was checking some of the ones online, I don't know if it was this period or if it was my 8, you guys were trying to put a Roman numeral for aluminum, and you did III in parentheses, and I had to mark it wrong. Aluminum doesn't get one. Silver, this guy, silver, cadmium, zinc, and aluminum. They do not get a Roman numeral. If you put it there, it's wrong. Do what? You should be able to open it up with the thing and look and see. I mean, I just put an X, like a red X over it if it was wrong. There were a whole bunch of different parts on that. Some of it was like towards on the back. It was like, what is this, the symbol with the charge, and then separately, what was the name of the ion? Those were 2 separate things. So every blank was worth 2 points. I had some people that just didn't name the ion. Well, I know some of you, you didn't like superscript the charge, but I could tell what you did. Some of you just learned how to do that with your Google Doc. Some of you guys did it by paper, and then you took an image and you uploaded it. All right. If you have ites or eights, don't change its name. Nitrite stays nitrite. Now there's 3 that don't end in ite and 8. Hydroxide, ammonium, and cyanide. Okay, and then you know what? Right now I'm a little bit more lenient with spelling, as long as you don't forget to change endings to "ide" from elements. And you don't change these guys' names. When we get into acids, then we have to do it, and you have to know your rules. I have a couple stupid things to keep it straight that may help you. Like I ate it, it's icky. 8s become icks. It worked. I said I've taught chemistry for quite some time. But they're a little bit more complicated. And in my 8th period, I have one, she's almost in tears. She's like, I don't understand. And I said, you have to memorize the rules. If I have some stupid way to help, like make it click, trust me, I will kill you. But it's nomenclature. Once it clicks, and unfortunately, the more you do them, the more comfortable you're going to be. If you never learn this, you're not going to understand any of the words that are coming out of my mouth. The way that it's named means something. Okay, so with these, the oxygens are capitalized, And they're normally going to have subscripts that tell you how much of the element is in the polyatomic, and then they're going to have a charge. Do not forget about their charge. Now that whole ion is like a super glued unit. You're not changing anything on it right now. You're not changing those little subscripts. We're not going to do that until we start having interactions of different chemicals together that will make new things out on the other side. That's way down the road. That is after Christmas when we do balancing, which I like. I can show you so many different ways to balance. That's it. This is where I was educated. I'm a biochemistry major. I like chemistry. This stuff makes sense to me. And we're actually getting into real chemistry right now. We're not doing IPC stuff. Okay, so if you have a polyatom, like those guys that are in parentheses, if you need one of them, you do not use parentheses. If you need more than one of them, you protect it in a parenthesis bubble, and then you put how many you need outside as a subscript. That's just the only tricky thing. Now I'm going to show you what those positives and negatives are going to do. And for those of you, and I know we're not supposed to let you touch stuff and then share it, but if these little chips help you, it's what you did digitally. It's tangible. Some of you learn by touching things much better. Stupid fires, throwing and everything. Okay, I'm going to show you. Oh, I think there's one. I will show you how to. I'm going to show you the two more, and I'm going to show you the long way, and I'll show you the short way. They both work. So write your cation, make sure you include the charge. It's an element, first letter is capitalized, if there's a second letter, it's lowercase. You're going to write your anion, whether it's one of these or it's the element. You're going to write its charge, -1, -2, -3. And the whole point is we want to get to the magic number of 0. If the cation is +1, the anion is -1, you only need one of each. It already adds to 0. I'm sorry, those of you who are online who cannot see what I'm about to do, but it's exactly what you guys were doing on that virtual lab. So if I take my old chips from so long ago, if it is +1 and -1, they're already flush. If you do not know what flush means, it's straight. There's no jagged edges. It is a 1-to-1 ratio. So potassium hydroxide is just KOH. We do not write ones as subscripts. If it's +2, -2, magnesium and oxygen, they already fit perfectly. It is a 1-to-1 ratio. So the formula for magnesium oxide would just be MgO, because they already add to 0. And then if you have +3, -3, with these guys, they already fit. One of each. AlPO4. No parentheses because you only have one of the phosphates. If they do not add to 0, you do it the long way, for those of you that just love math, or you can crisscross them. Not the charge, the number. But the whole point of these things coming together is so that overall, the molecule, or in this case, the formula unit, because this is ionic, it's neutral overall. Don't worry about moving positives and negatives. I'm going to show you how to do this quite a few times. There is only one catch. If you have a +4, a -2 situation, or maybe a +6, -2, you can go ahead and crisscross, but then you have to reduce because they're divisible by 2. And I'll show you one like this too. The Roman numerals tell you how positive the charge is. They're metals, they're positives. There are no Roman numerals with negatives. Roman numerals mean it is a positive ion, period, end of story. I don't care what the number is that's the Roman representation. The inner transitions, that's these guys down here, they would also get Roman numerals. But like I said, I just don't or CM. And then, I think there's one more on here. Yes. If you need more than one polyion, you put it in protected like this. So if I needed 2 phosphates, you would write it with the 2 outside parentheses, because I really wish I could do this on the board. I'm so sorry. I'll go back into this and I will add this back in. If I have time, then I'll just draw it on the board, but through my thing. This, the PO42, is not the same thing as parentheses PO4 close parentheses 2. This means 42 oxygens. This means 2 phosphates. They are not the same thing as each other. And we do not write ones as subscripts. We just don't. Ever. If you took the time to write out the symbol of the element or the ion, then you have one of them. Anybody still need this? I tried. You do. Okay. Let me double check online and see if anybody else came on. I am not trying to rush you, but some of you, as much as we're not supposed to come, and like we're not, like I said yesterday, I'm not the kind of teacher that likes to stay up here. I'm the kind of teacher that likes to come around and help, but we keep being told we can't because we have to stay away from you guys because you might be contagious. Yes, go very quickly. Oh, I got lots more people online. Here, let me. Matthew. I am going to go through Slate. Once we go through the sample problems, I'm going to go through and tell people if they're missing stuff. In fact, I can just look here. Some of you may still have questions about the paper from, oh, Jimmy, you did really well on it. You missed 3. Well, if you redid it, then that submission was the one that I saw. It would have replaced the previous ones. I don't know. I didn't grade the first one because I saw problems. I don't know what it was. Then I saw the new one because you made an A on it. I did get the one from Jimmy online, from Reagan online, from Mia online, and from, I think I'm saying your name wrong. I don't know if it's Declan or Declan. I think it's Declan. I did get yours. But everybody else either didn't submit it or you were doing it with paper and I haven't picked it back up. I'm not trying to mispronounce your name, I promise. Valerie, I see. Okay, so I do not see Aiden. Mia's not here. Sahara's not here. Did we know if Sahara got sick or? Oh no, I wonder if she got quarantined. Well, she doesn't seem like the kind that would skip class, you know, so. Oh. I can't wait until my daughter starts school here because I am the parent that will walk into her classroom and make her cry. I will. I will. What? We were just talking about you. Were your ears burning? We were just talking, not in a bad way. But I found out that you have, is it your mom works here? We were just nothing bad. I was like, where is she? Is she sick? Well, I did, trust me, nothing bad. I promise. You could go back and listen to the thing if you want to, because I'm recording. I promise you. We're just like, where is she? All right, so let's. Did you finish, Sebastian? Or did you need another minute? I don't know where my cursor went. There it is. All right. All right, so calcium oxide. Now I'm going to start with you, Sebastian. What's the symbol for calcium? And what is its charge? Okay. Do you have a periodic table?
I don't get
Sebastian, how many times do I have to give you a periodic table?
Oh, shoot.
Somebody told you.
Uh-uh.
So, Ca is in group 2. It goes +1, +2, +3, +-4, -2, -2, -0. You need 2. Now, you need a periodic table for the rest of the year. All right, calcium is Ca. It is in group 2. It is +2. Jimmy, I think you're the one that told him. So oxygen comes from what? Oh crap! Oxide comes from what element?
Oxygen is -2.
What's the symbol for oxygen?
Um,
Oh, and it's -2. Now let's see. Who do I want to pick on next? So let's see.
That's
How
not
about
bullying.
Jared? I'm gonna pick on you.
no, that's called bullying.
Oh no, it's not.
Why you bullying me?
Do these two charges add up to 0?
Yeah.
I didn't ask you.
Thanks, Jim. Yes.
Okay, so how many do you need of each if they already cancel out?
2.
No.
Yeah. 1. 1.
Okay, so the mathematical way to do this, the way that I was taught, and I know how to make it easier. If they already add to 0, you need one of each. Okay, and we just don't write ones. If it is +1 - 1, it is +2 - 2, it is +3 - 3. You do not write subscripts. They're already equal and opposite of each other. So the formula for calcium oxide is big C, little a, big O. If you write capital A, capital C, capital A, capital O, it's wrong. You write capital C, lowercase a, lowercase o, it's wrong. That is how they're spelled. This is how these are spelled. How they're, when I say spelled, I meant the formula. That's how it's capitalized. All right, so let's see, who am I picking on next?
No.
Hey, well, she just got in here. Oh, did you want?
No.
Well, sure, you can do Tiffany. No, Tiffany, it's okay. What's the symbol for aluminum? What's the symbol?
What?
AL. And what is its charge?
What did you just say, Miss Richie?
What?
You just say aluminum?
Aluminum.
Positive.
It is +3. We're on the bet. We're doing the I'm like losing my papers. Here we go. So how about I'm just gonna keep going around. Let's see, Caitlin, let's see, you're over there. I'm gonna start with one side, go to the other. Caitlin, what does nitride come from? Which element? Now, who wants to help her? Comes from nitrogen. Okay, now keep in mind, because this is about to get so redundant. Ides, except for hydroxide and cyanide. Okay, any ide is an element. So oxide is oxygen. Chloride is chlorine. Okay, nitride is nitrogen. It's in group 5. What is its charge? Negative how much? 3. Do they already add to 0?
Yes.
Okay. For those of you that have to see the math, I'm proving it. Okay, I personally don't do this. I don't. I can go, all right, 3 and -3 cancel out. So how many do you need of each? 1. Do you write ones? No. So the formula for aluminum nitride is capital A, lowercase l, that is not a capital I, capital N. I'm just going to go from left to right. Lucas, it's your turn. What's the symbol for sodium? Na, what is its charge? Oh, Jimmy. Last one. Go to Kyle next. Kyle, first of all, what does sulfide come from? It's an element. Sulfide comes from sulfur. It's in group 6, so what is its negative charge? Negative how much? Hope I heard it. -2. Do these add to 0?
No.
Negative. They add to -1. Yeah. Do you even want me to show you the long way or just shortcut? You want just a shortcut? Okay, I was like, you really want me to show you the algebra? All right, so if they do not add to 0, they crisscross. So you're going to need one sulfur for every 2 sodiums. You do not write the charge, just the number. So the formula is Na2S. The only time that this isn't perfect is when you have like a 2 and a 4 situation, like, because then you have to reduce it. Don't worry, I'll show you how to do it. Let's see here. Let's go to Bailey. Iron is Fe. According to this, what is its charge? Positive 3. And then Robert, let's jump to you next. Chloride comes from which element? What? No. It's not an "ide" ending, it's something else up there. You need a periodic table. No. You need to, I'm gonna have to make more copies. You just pull again, unless you have eagle eyes and you can look at that one, or you're lucky and you sit right next to it. Pull out a periodic table and go off. All right, so over on the right hand side, chloride comes from which element? Chlor what? Chlorine. Chlorine, but what's its charge? Well, he doesn't, yeah, it's not a colored one.
What's up there? It's got the charges on that one.
I don't know if you can see that far. Okay, well, first of all, it's in group 7. It wants 8. If it gains 1 negatively charged electron, what will be its charge? Gains 1, no.
Okay.
This is why I need to start calling on people by name more. Do you not have your code for
It's 18.
7 plus
Yeah.
1?
Sometimes 18. Yeah. Are you okay?
So the chlorine has a -1 charge. Do these two numbers add to 0?
No.
No, they add the +2. So we're gonna flip flop them. And how many irons do you need? 1. How many chlorines do you need? 3. Do not write the plus and the minus. It's like they vanished. So the formula will be FeCl3. Once again, ionics have a lot more stuff that you have to follow. You guys are going to like moleculars a heck of a lot more. I'll promise you, because they're easy. These are the harder ones. All right, I got more. Whoa. Lead 4 oxide. Let's go to, let's see who else is in here. Veronica. What's the symbol for lead? The weird one. PB. What, according to that, how positive is it? 4. Very good. And then, let's see. Reagan's next. No, not. Oh no, what does oxide come from? What element? What? Do you need a periodic table?
No, I have it right here.
Okay.
I struggle with this.
Towards the right hand side, if that helps.
On the top.
Oh, baby.
What was the question again?
What does oxide come from? Which element? Starts with ox. What's the only one on the right hand side at the top that starts with ox? Ox what? Oxygen. And what is its charge? Negative how much? No, not -4. Oh, okay, y'all need to pull those out. It's -2.
I didn't know which one we were at.
Okay, now, does that add to 0? No, it does not. Okay, now, you would crisscross, okay, just like we've done with everything else. Okay, but if I do this, because I know I didn't put it up on the board, if I write it the way it looks like, and I write PB2O4, are these both divisible by 2? Does 2 go into 2 evenly?
Yes.
Does 2 go into 4 evenly? You can either go ahead and crisscross and then simplify it or reduce it, or just understand that they're both divisible by 2. You need 2 -2s to cancel out the 1 +4. If you wrote PB2O4, I would have to mark it wrong. We reduce ionics, but not covalents, which are the ones that we do tomorrow. All right, let's see, Jeremiah, it's your turn. What's the symbol for nickel?
Look at it. It's just,
I don't know if you can see that part, is it on the other side or? In the middle. What's the symbol for nickel? Perfect, and according, because you don't have charges on there, but you don't need it. What does this mean? What is this number out of Roman? What does I mean? How many? 2, so it's positive, so you can do it, it's positive 2. Phosphide comes from phosphorus. What is the charge? In group 5, what is the charge that you put above group 5? Negative how much? They do not add to 0. Once again, I am doing this to show. I don't do that. I just do this. So you're going to crisscross them, and what will the formula be? How many NIs?
2.
No. 3, and how many Ps?
1.
2. Karen, stop it. Now we have some polyatomics. So I'm gonna go through this a little quicker because I need to pass out the assignment. And if you had possibly questions from a couple days ago, I can address questions, but I'm looking for some of those to be turned in. I will still take the one from 2 days ago tomorrow, but tomorrow is the last day. Lithium sulfate. Lithium is in group 1. Everything in group 1 is +1. Everything in group 1 is +1. Then you have to take a look at sulfate over here. And when I look it up, sulfate is capital S, capital O. There's 4 oxygens in it, and the whole dang thing takes a -2 charge. Now, all these things, they're stuff. Don't change that. Don't make that lowercase. Don't do that. It's wrong. Now, these do not add to 0. I'm not going to do the, I did. They do not add to 0. I need 1 sulfate for every 2 lithiums. If you only need 1 polyatomic, you do not put parentheses around it. It takes 2 positive 1s to cancel out that 1 -2. Chromium 3, Cr is +3. Nitrate, NO3 is -1. These do not add to 0. You crisscross them. Now this is a little different. Now I'm not going to write a 1 for chromium, but how am I going to say I need 3 nitrates? Because if you write NO33, it's wrong. So what did I tell you you had to do for that polyatomic if you need more than 1? Put it in what? No. Parentheses. This is the much more complicated system for ionics because not only do you have to crisscross charges, you've got to look, see, simplify, you got to use parentheses. If you got more than 1 polyatomic, you need to check for Roman numerals. This is way more complicated than the one that we're going to do tomorrow. Now let me pass this out. It is on canvas, it's single-sided. And a lot of you do want the paper. You want to do this online? Yes. Okay. But the first thing that we're going to do, is we're going to identify if you need a Roman numeral. And I'm going to help you out on that one. Then what I want you to do is if it does need a Roman numeral, I want you to circle the problem number. Because if you do not put a Roman numeral in it, oh, you know what? You don't need to write a Roman numeral. No, we're going the other way. That's the other direction. That's next week. Okay, so the ones that have Roman numerals, like the gold 1 telluride, the gold is going to be positive how much? 1. What's the symbol for gold?
gold is
AU.
AU? I'm taking a look at number 2. I know it's positive 1 because of that 1 for a Roman numeral. Telluride comes from tellurium, which is Te. It's in group 6, so if you go all the way up, if you recovered one, what's the charge that you put above the oxygen? Negative how much? What's the formula going to be? Can you write ones?
No.
That's it. If you have one with a polyatomic, like this one, aluminum sulfite, this is number 7 on the bottom. Aluminum's still positive 3. Sulfite is SO3, negative 2. Does that add to 0? Nope. But what do I have to do? Al2 is fine. Open parentheses, capital S, capital O, 3, close parentheses, 3. This is, for those of you that are online, number 7 on the bottom. If you only need one polyatomic, like this lithium sulfate that's still on the screen, don't put it in parentheses. So once again, we have 5 minutes. You must have a periodic table for the rest of the year. If you need to come in before or after school, or maybe when we have a little bit of downtime, make a new one that's colored, it would probably be wise. Or at least go ahead and put your charges across it like you're supposed to. Now, am I doing this right with yesterday's paper? Am I doing it right with today's paper right now?
Yeah.
Okay, let me stop the recording. I can click the right button.